Finally tonight, some marine researchers were out looking for sharks the other day off the Canary Islands, where they found something quite unexpected.
Have a look at this. This is a humpback angler fish known as a black sea monster. Black because it's black, and sea monster because, well, look at it.
A fisherman pulled a giant fish out of the water, thinking it was just a lucky catch. But when he opened it up, he couldn't contain his shock. What he found inside was something no one expected. It was shocking, strange, and honestly a little scary.
Meet the Pyrosome, a colony of hundreds to thousands of individual zooids.
The ocean is full of weird fishes, some with teeth like people, and some that glow in the dark. Which one have you heard of? In this video, we're counting down the strangest fish ever found. Get ready, because the ocean is way weirder than you think. The Pyrosome. Now, if you think you've seen weird sea creatures before, just wait until you meet the Pyrosome. At first glance, it looks like one strange glowing tube floating through the ocean. But here's the twist. It's not just one creature. It's actually made up of thousands of tiny animals called zooids. These little guys team up to form one big, jelly-like colony that moves, eats, and even glows together. Yeah, you can say that's teamwork on a whole different level.
This isn't just a creature, it's a colony of thousands. Meet the Pyrosome. Each tiny organism called a zooid works together to create this massive, glowing structure.
Depending on how many zooids are in the group, a pyrosome can be as small as your finger or longer than a grown adult. Some have even been spotted stretching over 30 feet. And get this, they all work in perfect harmony. It's like an underwater city, where everyone knows their job and never messes up. Just imagine trying to get your group of friends to do something that smoothly. I bet you can't. To make things even cooler, pyrosomes can glow in the dark thanks to bioluminescence, turning the ocean into a light show. They're beautiful, weird, and a little creepy all at once. No wonder scientists are obsessed with them. If you think this is the strangest thing you've seen, wait till you see the next one. The blobfish. Let's be honest, if you've ever seen a photo of the blobfish, your first reaction was probably, what is that thing? Many people call it the ugliest fish in the world, and at first glance, it's hard to argue. But here's the truth. The blobfish doesn't actually look like that in the wild. That sad, droopy face is a result of what happens when humans bring it out of its natural home. Blobfish live deep down in the ocean, so deep that the pressure down there is crushing. We're talking zones where a human wouldn't survive for even a minute without serious protection. Down there, the blobfish looks like a normal fish, solid, structured, and well adapted to its extreme environment. But when it's pulled up to the surface, the pressure drops fast. And just like a balloon deflating, its body collapses, turning it into the squishy, strange creature we all know. It's not ugly by nature, it's a victim of pressure change. The Asian sheep's head wrasse. When you think of a fish, your mind probably imagines something sleek and familiar. But the Asian sheep's head wrasse? It looks like something from another planet. With its bulging forehead and human-like features, it often leaves people stunned the moment they see it, especially if it's on display in an aquarium. Visitors stop, stare, and whisper, "Is that even real?" This odd-looking fish lives in the rocky reefs of the Western Pacific, places like Japan, Korea, and China. So, unless you're diving in those waters, chances are you've never seen one in person. It's also huge for a wrasse, growing close to a meter long. And get this, some can live over 30 years. One diver in Japan even developed a friendship with one and visited it regularly for decades. But guess what? Every Asian sheep's head wrasse is born female. As they grow older, some actually transform into males. Yes, they can change gender. Scientists were amazed when they captured this transformation on film. It's one of the most fascinating biological abilities in the animal kingdom. The hagfish. At first glance, you might think the hagfish is just a weird type of eel, but that's where the similarities end.
No scales, no bones, No jaw, no problem. The hagfish has slime, and plenty of it. It's survived for more than 300 million years by sliming its enemies.
While it does have smooth, slippery skin like an eel, it doesn't pack an electric punch. Instead, the hagfish has a much stranger defense: slime. Lots and lots of slime. When threatened, this slippery creature releases a thick, gooey substance that quickly clogs the gills of anything trying to eat it. Imagine trying to breathe while your throat is filled with sticky jelly. That's what predators experience. It's enough to make even the boldest attacker back off. But the weirdness doesn't stop there. Hagfish are one of the few animals on Earth that have a skull, but no spine. That's right, they're spineless, literally. They're the only known creatures with a skull and no vertebral column, which puts them in a very unique class of their own in the animal kingdom. Sounds unbelievable, but it's 100% real, and one of the ocean's oldest and most bizarre survivors, the Goblin Shark. When it comes to deep-sea nightmares, few creatures match the unsettling horror of the Goblin Shark. It's the kind of thing you don't expect to exist outside of a horror movie, and yet it's real. Known as a living fossil, this ancient predator has roamed the oceans for millions of years, and it hasn't changed much at all. Wondering why? Probably because it already looks like a nightmare made flesh. At full size, the Goblin Shark can grow up to 4 meters long, double the size of an average person. It mostly lurks in the pitch-black depths of the ocean, but don't get too comfortable. It's been known to rise to shallower waters too, meaning you might be closer to one than you'd ever want to be. But the most terrifying part is its jaw. When it hunts, the Goblin Shark's mouth launches forward like a spring-loaded trap, snapping up prey with terrifying speed. The Goblin Shark isn't just bizarre, it's a real-life monster, hiding silently in the shadows of the sea, and that's what makes it unforgettable. The Ocean Sunfish.
This disc-shaped fish looks like it belongs more in outer space than underwater. But the mola mola, or sunfish, is no stranger to the oceans.
You've seen big creatures on this list already, but nothing quite like the ocean sunfish. This bizarre-looking giant takes unusual to a whole new level. From certain angles, it almost doesn't look real. It's tall like a pancake standing on its edge, with a flattened body that looks like it was only halfway finished during evolution. But guess what? Despite its odd appearance, the ocean sunfish is one of the heaviest bony fish on Earth, with some individuals tipping the scales at over 1,000 kilograms. Now that's more than a small car. And in terms of height, they can grow up to 3.3 meters tall. We made no mistake, tall, not long. It's no wonder divers are both amazed and confused when they spot one gliding past underwater. What makes this creature even more fascinating is its global range. Ocean sunfish can be found in warm and temperate waters in every ocean, which means you might just cross paths with one on your next tropical dive. Do you find this shocking? What would you say when you see the next shock? The vampire squid. With a name like Vampire Squid, you might picture a giant sea monster hiding in the deep, but the truth is far shocking. This squid isn't massive like the popular giant squid. In fact, it's surprisingly small, to the fact that your forearm might actually be longer than it is. But don't let its size deceive you. What the vampire squid lacks in bulk, it makes up for with some seriously spooky features. It lives in the pitch-black depths of the ocean, where light barely reaches and oxygen is incredibly low. To survive, it has evolved glowing organs called photophores, which help it navigate the dark. It also has a special circulatory system that lets it thrive where most sea creatures would suffocate. And you may be wondering why it is called the vampire squid? One look underneath its arms will answer that. Its dark, cloak-like webbing is lined with spiny projections that look just like sharp fangs. It doesn't suck blood, thankfully, but the strange appearance is enough to earn it the chilling name. But just imagine if it were larger, we'd probably think twice before stepping into the ocean. For now, We can breathe easy. This deep-sea horror is tiny, fascinating, and best observed from afar. The sarcastic fringe head. Ever heard of a little fish that has a massive ego? The sarcastic fringe head, measuring only about 30 centimeters long, might be small, but it acts like it rules the ocean floor. Territorial to the extreme, this feisty fish doesn't hesitate to throw down with anything or anyone that dares to enter its space. The moment it senses a threat, the sarcastic fringe head charges forward.
Again, they use their mouths as a threat. The neighbour's gape is far bigger than his rival, and he's ready to fight for his home.
And snaps open its enormous rainbow-colored mouth in a dramatic display that screams, "Back off." It's all about intimidation, and trust me, it works. That gaping jaw is so large and sudden, it looks more like a creature from a cartoon than a real marine animal. These bold little beasts tend to set up shop inside anything they can find, natural or man-made. Empty shells, rock crevices, even discarded soda cans become their homes. And what happens when two of these hot-tempered fish clash? It's a full-on jaw joust. They slam their mouths together in a weird underwater battle until one manages to latch onto the other's face. With these strange acts, the fringehead proves that in the deep sea, attitude matters just as much as size. The fangtoothed fish. Imagine walking into a room and instantly knowing who not to mess with. Now translate that feeling to the deep ocean, and you've just met the fangtoothed fish. This creature might be tiny, maxing out at around 16 centimeters, but it's got the face and the bite of something far more terrifying. Its head is comically large for its body, and its fangs? Let's just say they didn't hold back. These teeth are so massive that the fangtooth has special pockets in its skull just to keep them tucked away when its mouth closes. It's basically nature's version of a horror movie villain, small, sharp, and always hungry. But here's the real deal. When it comes to tooth-to-body ratio, no other fish in the ocean comes close. According to the BBC, the fangtooth has the largest teeth of any marine creature relative to its size. Think about that. So it lives deep in the dark parts of the sea, where it uses those oversized jaws to snap up whatever prey it can find. So while it may not win any beauty contests, the fangtooth proves that in the ocean's depths, looks can definitely kill. The frilled shark. Compared to some of the more terrifying deep-sea creatures we've covered, this one feels like a quiet echo from Earth's prehistoric past. And that's because it literally is. The frilled shark is considered a living fossil, having swum through the oceans for over 80 million years, possibly longer. It has barely changed since the time of the dinosaurs. What makes this creature so intriguing is its appearance. If you didn't know better, you'd probably mistake it for an oversized eel or sea serpent. Its body is long, slender, and smooth, stretching up to 2 meters. It glides through the water in slow, snake-like motions, earning it nicknames like sea serpent shark. But make no mistake, it's still very much a shark. Unlike modern sharks, the frilled shark lacks the traditional dorsal fin shape and instead has a more primitive skeletal structure. Its mouth is packed with 300 razor-sharp trident-shaped teeth, arranged in 25 rows, perfect for snagging squid and fish in the pitch-black depths where it dwells. Found mostly between 500 and 1,500 meters deep, this elusive predator rarely comes into view, which only adds to its mysterious reputation. The piranha. Now we can say this is one of the most misunderstood creatures in the waters, the infamous piranha. These fish have earned a reputation largely thanks to movies, books, and exaggerated stories, but it's time to clear the air. Contrary to what you might have seen on the big screen, piranhas don't attack humans on sight. In fact, they're not the flesh-devouring monsters many imagine them to be. They are not capable of stripping a person to the bone in seconds. This is pure Hollywood fiction. In reality, piranhas are omnivores. They have a varied diet, consuming meat, plants, seeds, and even algae when available. Some species, like the red-bellied piranha, may lean more toward meat, while others are more plant-based. This flexibility allows them to survive in a range of environments, from rivers to lakes across South America. But what makes piranhas dangerous isn't their bloodlust, but their powerful bite. The black piranha, in particular, has one of the most forceful bites among all vertebrates, making it a formidable predator when in a group. But even with such strength, they rarely target humans. Most attacks happen under extreme circumstances, such as a piranha being hungry after a long period without food, or being provoked by sudden movements in the water, like splashing or fishing activity. So, if you're ever in the Amazon River basin, rest assured that piranhas are around, but unless you act carelessly, they aren't the deadly threat many think they are. This next fish is quite terrifying. You won't even believe it. The anglerfish. Terror can take many forms, and when it comes to the anglerfish, it's more than just size that makes it terrifying. While it's not the biggest predator in the ocean, this fish is easily one of the creepiest you'll find in the deep, dark depths.
A deep-sea anglerfish flashes in the darkness. The light is generated by bacteria that live permanently inside the lure, which attracts prey to these murderous teeth.
Typically, anglerfish are small, with the largest species reaching about 1 meter in length. What truly sets them apart is their mysterious method of hunting, which involves a bioluminescent lure that hangs from their heads like a glowing fishing line. This glowing appendage draws in curious prey from the pitch-black waters of the ocean's midnight zone. Attracted to the light, unsuspecting creatures move closer, only to become meals for the anglerfish. It's an incredibly effective and chilling hunting technique, but the terror doesn't stop there. The anglerfish's reproduction is equally disturbing. In this species, females grow significantly larger than males, and when the time to mate comes, the male doesn't just court the female. Instead, he fuses with her. Yes, the male attaches himself to the female, merging his body with hers. Over time, the male's body deteriorates until he becomes nothing more than a parasitic appendage, essentially turning the two into a single organism. This horrifying process might sound like something you see in the movies, but it's a reality in the deep sea. The northern stargazer. The ocean is home to some truly fascinating creatures, many of which have evolved in extraordinary ways to survive in its depths. One such creature is the northern stargazer, a fish perfectly designed for a life of stealth and ambush. Its unique body shape and coloration allow it to blend seamlessly into the sandy ocean floors, making it nearly invisible to unsuspecting prey swimming above. This natural camouflage is the key to its hunting strategy. It patiently waits for its next meal to pass by, then strikes with lightning speed to grab whatever it can. As an ambush predator, the northern stargazer is an expert at hiding in the shadows, hidden beneath the sand, only to emerge at the perfect moment. But it's not just its hunting skills that make this fish stand out. It also has an undeniably menacing appearance. With its upward-facing eyes and a somewhat irritable expression, the northern stargazer looks like it's always on the lookout for trouble. This grumpy, unapproachable demeanor only adds to its mystique, making it an oddity of the deep sea. The red-lipped batfish. Now, let's dive into a creature that takes weird to an entirely new level. This is the red-lipped batfish, a fish so unusual it almost doesn't look like it belongs in the ocean at all. What truly stands out about this strange creature is its bright red, almost exaggerated lips, which are the fish's actual lips, not something you typically expect to see on a fish. It's like nature's version of an eccentric makeover, and it's hard not to be captivated by the fish's odd appearance. But what makes the red-lipped batfish even more peculiar is its inability to swim. Yes, you heard that right. It's a fish that can't swim. Unlike most of its aquatic relatives, this batfish has adapted to life in the deep by walking along the ocean floor. Using its modified pectoral fins, it props itself up and moves in a manner more like a land animal than a fish. This unique adaptation helps it navigate the ocean floor in search of food and keeps it safe from predators. Surprisingly, the red-lipped batfish doesn't have many natural enemies. Perhaps it's because of its strange, striking appearance, or maybe predators are simply put off by its colorful lips. What do you think? The lionfish. Despite its name, the lionfish is no majestic jungle predator and certainly not the king of the ocean. In fact, it's more of an unexpected terror hiding beneath the waves. What it lacks in intimidating size, it makes up for with its deadly venom, which it can inject in a variety of ways, making this fish a true underwater menace. When you see it first, you might be tempted to admire the lionfish's vibrant, rainbow-like patterns and long, flowing fins that seem to invite a closer look. But don't go close. This stunning appearance is actually a warning. The lionfish's colors act as a signal to potential predators that it is not to be messed with. And if the striking beauty doesn't raise your caution, its menacing spines certainly should. These spines cover its body and are capable of delivering venom through sharp, barbed points that can strike from nearly any angle, making the lionfish a formidable foe both offensively and defensively. The venom from a lionfish sting is no joke. It can cause severe symptoms including intense pain, nausea, vomiting, fever, and even paralysis. In some rare cases, the effects can be life-threatening, leading to respiratory failure, heart issues, or even death, though these fatalities typically occur when victims suffer allergic reactions or fail to get treatment in time. While death is rare, the lionfish's venom can still leave a person in serious distress, making this beautiful yet dangerous creature one to approach with extreme caution. That brings us to the end of this video. Which of these fishes do you find most mysterious? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click on the following video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.